If you're a local service business and you're still pressing the boost post button on your Facebook and Instagram posts, thinking that that's going to be the best way to advertise your business, well, I'm sorry to tell you that you've been doing it the wrong way this entire time. And in this video today, I am going to show you how to successfully set up a lead generation campaign so you can start generating leads in your local service area for the offers and services that you provide. Now, before we get started, for those that don't know me, my name is Evan Andrews, and I own and operate Andrews Media out of Houston, Texas. And I help local businesses just like you guys out there actually run successful lead generation campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. And I am making this video today because I get a common thing that comes my way, and people just tell me that they typically boost their posts to try and generate leads, and that is not the right way that you want to do it. So we're going to jump into the computer, and I'm going to show you exactly how you should set up your lead generation campaigns inside of Facebook and Instagram. So I'm in the computer here, and if you haven't already, make sure that you check out the banner up top here, because we have to make sure that your Meta business profile is set up and optimized and ready to go to be able to do this process. So make sure you'll watch that video first before that you continue with what I'm going to show you here today in this video. So when you have done that and you get into your ad account here, this is what your ad account should look like. We are going to hit the green create button here, and we're going to go to a leads campaign. We're going to hit continue. I always do a manual setup. I do not do the recommended settings. We have more control over manual setups. So we're going to hit manual setup here. It's very important to give yourself a name up top here. I usually start with like the date. Today, as of this recording, is the 19th. And then I will just give it a name, lead gen. Name does not matter. It's not that important. For those that are kind of just starting out, I would suggest that you start out with the Advantage campaign budget and set your daily budget right here. I recommend that you start off with $20 to $30 a day and kind of ramp it up once we start to see a little bit of success with what it is that we're doing. So put your daily budget in, and then you're going to go to next. From here, again, with the ad set name, this is the ad set level. So this is our targeting, this is our audience, and effectively how we're setting up and telling Facebook who we want to target. So again, start with the date, and then you can just put in some kind of identifier for what would be inside of this ad set. So I would do maybe Houston and 35 miles. I know that I'm going to maybe set a 35-mile radius around there. So I'll set up something like that. Then we're going to go through here. You're going to select your Facebook page. You're going to set your performance goal. So if you're just starting out, I would start out with maximum number of leads. If you have done this for a while, chances are you have a pixel or a data set up with some information in it. Then you could maybe try starting with maximum conversion leads. But I would just start with maximum number of leads for right now. It's going to tell you things like you can get lower performance or better performance by doing certain things, so on and so forth. But that's just Facebook's way of trying to get you to do things that may or may not work for you right this moment. So for now, if you're a newbie, just start with maximum number of leads. That's where we need to start out with right now. You're going to come down here. This is where you're going to set your scheduling. So the start date, I usually suggest that people start their ads around 6 a.m. in the morning. So if today would be the 19th, I might start these for Friday at 6 a.m. Scroll down through here. So now this is one of the main important key things. This is your audience setup. What Facebook suggests now is what's called Advantage Audience, right? Advantage Audience means that we can tell Facebook a little bit of what we're looking for, and then we give it the kind of authority to go outside of that range, right? So this is what I suggest that everybody starts with, and then only when we know that certain things like age parameters or things of that nature are very rigid, and we know that we're not going to reach people below a certain age or maybe above a certain age, then we can change those things in the future. But for now, just start off with Advantage Audience. It's going to be the best thing for you to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is under the first part of audience controls, we're going to come in and we're going to set our locale. So wherever you're at. So I am in the Houston area. I would suggest, or I would select Houston. And then, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to do 35 miles for this example, right? So that pretty much encompasses the entire metropolis of Houston here. It'll let you go up to 50 miles though. If you want to go outside of a 50-mile range, then you'll have to just add in more locations and then you can broaden those out from there. But just put in your service area there. I usually don't suggest, if you see this, reach more people likely to respond to your ads, I uncheck that. Sometimes that has to do with like people that might be traveling to the location or something like that. I usually uncheck that. It just usually doesn't serve people when they start to get leads outside of their service area. It just undo it. So uncheck that. Now this is the part of the frame that we will give Meta to run our ads. So we come in here and we want to give it an audience suggestion. So we'll come in and we'll say, like, for example, I know that the people that I usually service are anywhere from the 30 to about 50 or 55 range. So I'm going to plug in 30 to 50 and I'm going to be good there. Now, what I can do is I can come in and I can do detailed targeting here. And let's say I am targeting, I don't know, maybe I'm targeting business owners. So I'm looking for things like employers, job titles, things of relevance for me. I am a B2B company, so I help businesses. So that's what I'm looking for. If you are a B2C and you are, trying to service general consumers, you could use interests in this placement. If you're B2B, I stay away from interests because not every business is interested in what consumers are interested in. So, for example, for this example, I'm going to put in things like business owner, other business owner things that it has, owner, so on and so forth, business owner behaviors, owner, job title, things of that nature, right? So that will illustrate my point there. You can come in and put as much stuff in here as you want, right? So that's what you would do from there. And then you're just going to hit next. There's no fancy anything. Just hit next and we're going to go on to setting up the ad. So for the ad name, again, I always use the date naming convention. The reason is for this convention is because when I go and look at all of the ads and the ad sets and the campaigns that I run over time, I'll be able to put that in a name order. And if I use the date convention, I can see it in a date order. So I know when I made changes, what kind of things were happening at specific times. So that really helps me go analyze my stuff that much easier. So when you get in here, you are going to select your Facebook page has already been selected. You can select your Instagram account from here now as well. And then we're going to go into the ad setup. I usually uncheck this multi-advertiser ads area. That hasn't seemingly helped service or make my ads any better. So I usually uncheck that. And then we're going to go into creating what's called an instant form. And I didn't make note of that at the beginning, so I'm going to go back here real quick. At the ad set level, and this is the tree over here on the left. So this is your campaign, this is your ad set, this is the ad. At the ad set level, we want to use instant forms, right? We don't want to send people to our website. We don't want to do website and instant forms. We don't want to do website and calls. Now, you can play around with these at your leisure, right? But I have found the most effective way to generate leads, if you've never actually had success generating leads on Meta before, is using instant forms. And that's typically because you don't have a pixel tracking and different things like that set up that's collected all of that data in the past. And instant forms are a great on-platform way for Facebook to use the data that they have at their disposal to actually be able to find the people that you're telling it that you're looking for. So use instant forms to start off for now. So going back to the ad set, or I'm sorry, the ad itself, now we want to create a form. Okay, so I already have kind of an example form in here. Actually, I'll do another one. We'll just do another one here. So just hit create form, give it a name. Again, I give it the same kind of convention, and then I'll say this is for local biz owners, something, right? Name doesn't really matter. Just put a name in. Always go with higher intent. And for now, if you get presented with this require phone number verification with a one-time passcode, don't check it just yet. In the future, if you're realizing that you're still getting bad phone numbers, or you can't reach the people that are filling out the form, we can come in here and we can turn that on and we can test that. But the more friction that we add to the process, the less likely we are to generate leads at all. So I wouldn't suggest doing it just yet. But I always do higher intent because more volume, it's very, very frictionless. And it just doesn't make for a better quality lead. But if you want a better quality lead, go with higher intent. So we're going to go with higher intent. For flexibility, you can put it on optimize. That's totally fine. Then you're going to hit next. In the top up here in settings, you can do this now or you can do it at the very beginning, but hit settings. And then on form configuration, go to open. It'll allow other people that see it to be able to share it, and it'll be more interactive as an ad. So on here, you'll do like a greeting, right? So a headline, you only have 60 characters here, so it's got to be kind of short, sweet, and concise to what this is. I usually like to say like who I'm calling out again to make sure that the right people are here on this form. So if I said, "Hey, Houston business owners," something like that, or I could do Houston business owners only. Maybe I'll do for Houston business owners only, something to that effect, right? Now in here, I can get a little bit more descriptive on what it is that I'm giving away or what it is that I have to offer people. I can provide any amounts of context here, whatever it might be. So let's say I was doing my marketing services. I could say, if you are tired of not getting quality leads from your meta lead generation efforts and need more quality leads in your pipeline, my specific simple system could be the thing you are missing. No more boosting posts and wasting money that doesn't in your business. I don't know, something like that. Then I might do fill out this short form to see if you qualify. All right. For me, that's very important in what it is that I do. I want people to qualify to work with my business. Not everybody does. Not everybody makes enough money for my high ticket marketing service, right? So I have to have people come in here and see if they qualify. And I'm going to show you how we qualify people and either take them in or push them away. So after you've got in your text here, you're going to go next. And then up here, this is the qualification step that is super important for Facebook lead forms. So we're going to hit this conditional logic button right up here at the top. Okay. And then we're going to hit add question and do a multiple choice question. So in this multiple choice question, I like to start off with just one question in my form. You can have multiple questions if you already know that there's kind of a proven questionnaire that you need to qualify your leads. You can ask multiple questions here. I like to start off with just one and then add more friction over time if I'm seeing a bad lead quality come through. But again, the more friction that we have, the more questions, the more blockers that we have, the less likelihood that we're going to get any leads at all, or the less likely that our ads are going to, bring us what we actually want. So I like to start off with one. So I'll start off with something like to confirm. And again, I'm B2B, so this is going to speak to my audience. You are a Houston area service business doing at least, usually for me, the sweet spot is if they're doing at least 20K per month in revenue. And I cannot spell to save my life. And then I will put that question in like this, and then I'll do just simple yes, no. again, your questions are going to be your questions. I can't give everybody in this video ideally what you should put in here. But at this point in time, in being in business as long as you have been, you likely know what kind of questions will either attract or push away the people that you need to. So the logic section here is what we're going to move to next. So if they answer yes, I want this form to get submitted, and I want it to go to an end page for leads. So I'm going to select my end page for leads. Now on the no, I want this to close the form, and this is going to go to an end page for non-leads. You can see E2 and page for non-leads, and this is good. I could add more questions from here if I wanted to, but I think one is always just a great place to start, right? So now here we can say something in the description area of please make sure your information below is accurate to qualify for our service, something like that. And then right now it's got just email and full name in here. So I want to go in and I want to try and get people's phone number as well. Name, email, phone number for me and in any local service business, like that's what I want to capture because I want to be able to get a hold of the leads, right? Depending on what you're giving away and what kind of business that you're in, you may only need name and email. But usually name, email, phone number is what we want. I even go a step further, and because I am a B2B, I want to go and add company name too, because I want to know who's the company that needs help, right? So I have those 4 parameters. You might just need name, email, and phone number though. Do not check any optional options. Leave them unchecked because we want people to fill that information in. And then we're going to go to next. Now, you should have a privacy policy if you are doing any sort of digital marketing. If you have a website, usually there is privacy policies in place. You should have a link to that privacy policy somewhere. If you don't, a website that you can use that I've done, that I've used for a lot of my clients and myself and a lot of people is called termsfeed.com. I don't make any money from these people. They're not sponsoring this video or anything like that, but you can do a privacy policy here. Just go through and follow the prompts, fill in the information. It might try to upsell you to certain things. You don't necessarily need to. Just do all the free options and you'll be fine. So put in your link to your privacy policies here and then hit next. Now the review screen here is what is enacted when we selected that higher intent option for our form. And this means that somebody has to actually click and drag or click with their thumb and drag to submit the form. This is going to cut down on things like spam bots and bad info leads coming through. So that's why we choose the higher intent lead from there. And then from the end, we have 2 final screens that we need to put in. So we have a page for, this is our page for people who qualified and answered that question in the way that we wanted. So for headline, because this would be filling out the form. This would be the last step of the form, but generally there's an action that we want them to take from here. So if they are somebody that is qualified to work with you or that does need a particular service or whatever it might be, we want to do something to the effect of, I like to do wait. You are not done just yet. Because my next step in my process is having somebody book a call with me, right? Getting on my calendar so that I can have a conversation with them, right? I will say, click the blue button below and schedule your free, no obligation call to speak with me directly. Now, again, in my ads and everything, I am very much myself, right? This language might be click the blue, for you, it might be click the blue button below. And again, let's say you're a roofer or something like that. Click the blue button below and schedule your free no obligation roof estimate or roof inspection or something like that, right? That might be the language that you use. I don't know. But then we're going to go to website. Now, depending on what you're giving away or how you're running your funnel, right? You may give somebody a file. Maybe it's a PDF or something that they're downloading to get more info or whatever. You could do that, right? You could have them call the business direct if you feasibly wanted to do that. The likelihood that somebody's going to do that intently from a platform or the way that we would set up these ads, probably not as likely. It's probably not an emergency. If they're seeing a Facebook or Instagram ad, it's not an emergency. They're going to go to Google if they have an emergency. So I usually have them go to website and then take the next step. So that next step is usually booking a call, right? And then now I can get on the phone or get on a Zoom or whatever your process might be. They know that you're going to call them, you're going to get a hold of them, right? So that's usually the step for me. And 9 times out of 10, most of the steps for any of you service businesses out there. You would use the website and then provide them a link. So my link would be, I don't have the link handy on me, but I would put in my calendar link here, or a page that has my calendar on it, whatever, some kind of link that navigates them to the next step of the process, right? So you put your link there, and then you can change the button text. So I could say, book my call now, something like that, right? Then if we go to the page for non-leads, you basically can leave this just like it is. It just basically says, based on your answers, we might not be the best fit. Check out our website and see what else we offer. Then you can go down here and just put in your website URL right there. And then if people still take the next action on your website, great. You can still talk to them. They may still not be the best fit, but at least they're maybe a higher intent now after they're taking another further action down the road. So you just put your link to your website there, and then don't do any connect with leads through Messenger. Don't do any of that. Just hit create form. I'm not going to create form now because I don't want to keep this form, but you would hit create form. So I'm just going to leave it as save draft. Now, if you do create the form, please understand that you cannot edit the form. So if you're not ready to create the form yet, don't create the form. Save it as a draft. You can get rid of it up here and it'll go away. So you can see like I've got that one there as a draft, right? Scrolling down, how to finish setting up the ad and the ad creative, right? So that's going to be here. So if you see something that looks like mine, it just pulled my profile picture. I'm going to throw that away in the trash. I am then going to go to set up creative here, and you can do an image or you can do a video. I highly recommend video, but if you have images, anything like that, you can use those for your creatives. I'm just going to go in here. I am going to throw in an old ad. I will skip. For me, I just leave everything just as it is. Now here, primary text, headline, it's got a description area and a call to action. You don't need anything in the description area. Don't worry about filling that in. It does not matter. Your primary text, I usually follow a framework that looks something to this effect. So I will call out who I want to talk to, right? I will label the problem. I will then relate to them in some way, shape, or form. A very simple term of relation is, look, I get it. Like, that's it. Like, you don't need anything super crazy. But look, I get it. We get it. We understand what you're going through. That a relation statement. People want to feel heard, right? And then I can offer them something. And then I can give them a call to action. So a CTA, a call to action, tell them what to do next. Click the link below and fill out a short form and see if you qualify for this offer. That's a CTA, right? And we do all of that in a text format, and that would be what would be surrounded in our ad. This is a very basic kind of prompting that I do for mine, and basic outline and structure. It could be way longer. It could be way shorter, but this is for me, a bare minimum of what I do for myself and my clients. Headlines here, you can come in and start putting your headlines. So again, for me, headlines could be a call out, headlines could be a question, headlines can be a multitude of things, and you'll test these things over time. But I'll do Facebook lead ads. I don't know, that really work. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head. That's what I'm putting in there. You can come in and you can take some of the options that it will give you from here. Now, these are all pulling from my copy up here, so I wouldn't use those, but I could come in and add more headlines. And I think you can test up to 5 variations of primary text and headlines, and Facebook will kind of mix and match your ads to see what might work better for you. So it's always of benefit if you come in here and add another headline. I could just do Houston area businesses, right? Something like that. If I could spell Houston area business, like I could do up to 5 versions of that, right? So description, again, you don't need anything in description. Don't worry about it. And then for call to action, again, this is going to be applicable to you and what it is that you're doing. The 2 that I suggest most often for people are learn more or get offer. If you are giving them a downloadable something, you could do download. But I usually see that some of the other stuff doesn't always do what it needs to. This one, get in touch, is kind of on the fringe for me. Like I could maybe see that one working, but learn more is by far my default that I go to. Everybody's willing to learn more about something, right? They're not always willing to do certain actions, but they're willing to learn more. So that's why I always see that. So you would choose your call to action button and then hit next. And then for these, it's going to kind of give you some Advantage Plus creative enhancements. You can go ahead and turn these on if they're relative to what you're trying to do. So like this one's saying like translate my text for Spanish speakers. I could do that. I don't particularly speak Spanish, so I would leave that off for me. There's other things like visual touch-ups, text improvements, all this that you can leave all of this stuff on. It's not going to hurt you at all. So I'll hit done. And then now I've got my creative down in here. And at the very bottom, again, if you watch the video that I directed you to before we started, make sure that your data set and all that stuff is set up properly. When you go through, you would come down here, you would select your data set from your website events. If you've plugged it into a CRM, you can select on your CRM as well, choose your pixel, and you'll be good and ready to rock and roll. And then you would just hit publish from here, and that's it. You would be off to the races, and your ads will start running at 6 a.m. the next day. So with all of that and with what I gave you guys today, that is actually how you just set up Facebook lead generation ads. It is actually very simple, and most people overcomplicate it. Most people try to do what they think is the right thing in trying to generate leads for their local service business, and it's not any more complicated than that. Now, the nuances and the things that do become complicated over time is trying to figure out what works, testing different things, and staying on the horse with your ads. So if you are struggling with boosting posts and not seeing anything from it, I hope that you take into consideration what I gave you here today, and you actually go in and you actually start running lead generation for local service in your area. And if you made it this far, I hope that you like this video, you subscribe, maybe send this video to somebody that does own a local service business, and maybe it might actually help them get started running successful meta lead generation in their local area. So if you enjoyed this video, again, make sure you go check out some of my past content and get a better idea of what it is that I do and how I better help local service businesses actually use meta platforms to be able to grow and scale their marketing and their advertising. And until the next one, I will see you guys on the other side. Peace out.